Hey, everybody. Joey's back. Let's check in with America's favorite 49er fan before we dig into the AFC and NFC East. It's the You Like That Feels Great Baby podcast. The full crew is here. Joey, welcome back. How you doing?
Hanging in there, but it's good to be back. I'm excited. We only got a couple weeks. Enough of the preseason football. Yeah, man. Just excited to have some weekends back with something to do. Other than yard work.
It's been over 6 months since there was something sports related to look forward to on the weekend. Like, yes, like the Masters and March Madness are pretty watchable, some of the golf stuff. But baseball's just like gone for me, and I know it's been gone for you for years. So, man, these 6 months, they just went by so freaking slow. Like, they always went by slow, but there was always something like the Sharks playoff run, which doesn't happen anymore. The A's, which we don't give a shit about anymore. Like, it was so slow, dude. Isn't it so good to finally have football back?
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. I was thinking about, I was watching the golf last weekend, like, oh, the Tour Championships next weekend. Like, yeah, they modified their schedule. We got to get this over before football because it's game over. And you see, like, the NBA schedule comes out, like Christmas Day games. Well, no one cares. The NFL's on Christmas. Like, it's somehow like the immovable object and, like, what do they call that? The
unstoppable force.
Like, it's the same. They're the same thing. The NFL's, it's just kind of, and they've made it year round. Obviously, it's for years, but which I haven't really even understood what the deal meant. But like ESPN now owns Red Zone or something,
and NFL Network.
Yeah, they're just like it's everything. Like the NFL. I mean, it's.
I don't know how it can possibly get bigger. It's like every week there's something new where you're like, okay, like now ESPN just gave the league another $10 billion to buy out their media properties. What else are they going to do? Like, it really is insane.
Well, sadly, the next thing I think is that we're heading to Europe.
I actually think it's going to be like fucking private equity too. Like, there's going to be like people buying minority shares in the teams for ungodly amounts, and then, like, you know, treating it like a stock. Like, it's
like Packers.
Yeah, but like, I mean, that's going to be the death knell.
Are you saying like every owner is going to own 51%, and then all the rest of the percent, like, it's going to be just divided up by millions of rich people?
Yes, it's going to be. I mean, just because you look at how these assets grow, like, what did Jerry buy the Cowboys for? $50 million, and now they're worth like $12 billion. Like, people want a piece of that, and he probably wants to cash out because he's going to die soon. So, like, I feel like that's the next step. But apparently, the NFL's dead set on not allowing foreign investment into teams. But maybe if you're right, maybe if there is a team in Europe, maybe they'll allow foreign investment into that. But man, it's there's a lot of stuff that's wrong with the NFL, but I am just so freaking thankful to have it back with all the shit that's going on. It's like, thank God we have football back. Thank God the Vikings and Niners actually look pretty damn good on paper. Like, yes, the Niners have their issues. Yes, the Vikings have their issues. But, I mean, both teams have, I would say, pretty damn favorable schedules. I think we had the kind of drafts we needed to have. I don't think there was anything super splashy in the offseason other than maybe the Purdy extension. It feels like we had a good 6 months leading up to this season. Like, there were no, knock on wood, major injuries. There was no, the Niners signed a horrible contract or signed this guy and then he blew his leg, or, the Vikings kind of addressed their problems on both lines. For the most part, I was happy with our offseason. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, didn't add to, I think, an already old and expensive team. Didn't commit any further to players that, might not be part of their long-term future. I mean, like, the only thing really right now is Jennings wants more money, which, again, I really don't blame him. And then Niners have kind of held firm. Like, we just gave you an extension last year, like, which he definitely outplayed, in all fairness to him. But the Niners last year gave in to Ayuk, they gave in to McCaffrey, they gave in to Trent Williams, like, to give him more money. And it just they had a horrible year. It didn't work out, and it's not been, I would say, quiet in the sense of it sure seems like Jed's told them, like, we're not spending money. He sold like 6% of the team. Like, they really didn't. I think John Lynch at his draft presser said something about, like, we're trying to, like, just get younger, shed some money, and I don't think they're. I mean, I think the Niners have like the third or fourth most cap space in the league, and they're just not really inclined to use it.
Mm-hmm.
Especially on a receiver that,
He's a good 3 or
he's just
a
like
decent 2. Yeah.
Like you, his money starts to just. I mean, it's just not. It's not good, and it's not good business. Just keep doing it to every player to ask for.
Yeah.
Like he had a really good year. The guys they did it last year for, Trent Williams, Christian McCaffrey, and Brandon Ayuk. Well, maybe but specifically Trent Williams, given age, and I mean literally after him with the offensive line, they just traffic cones.
Mm-hmm.
And then McCaffrey just won Offensive Player of the Year. Like you didn't win that, Juwan Jennings, but. Yeah, I mean, really good player at this point. He's probably their number 2 because Ricky Pearsall's looked pretty good, and his upside, I guess he should be the number 1, hopefully. But
and I coming back like week 7. You think they're saying is a possibility?
Yeah, the interesting thing is like even if he comes back when he comes back, it sure sounds like they were really turned off by like the negotiations last year. And I remember last year when I came back to the team, he regretted like some of how it went, like personally, like things I guess he said and stuff, and then he just didn't have a good year before he even got hurt. So he might be on his way out after this year, but no, I'm. He sound like I mean I think we're going to be good. We should be given healthier or given more health, be better than last year, but.
And they were dealt a really good hand with the schedule. They got the most.
Oh, the schedule is a joke.
And the schedule is such a cupcake schedule. I mean,
it can't be. I mean, you don't know what your schedule looks like really until you play most of the year. Like injuries, who knows, right?
Mm-hmm.
But on paper, it can't be any easier. I mean, the fact that they play the Giants. They play Chicago and the Browns compared to like the Rams having to play Philly, Minnesota, Philly, Detroit.
Yeah.
And Baltimore.
Yeah.
Like, that's huge.
That's at least a 2-game swing in your favor.
At least.
Yeah.
I mean, probably 2, because I was thinking 3, but the Niners have to win all 3. And look, they're on paper, should they win? Probably, but who knows? Injuries again. Like, I think the Giants front 4 could be extremely good. I think Cleveland. I think they go there in December. Snow game. Who knows what Purdy? I don't know. You should never know, but I sure as heck take my chances in Cleveland rather than Baltimore.
Absolutely, and that's obviously, not only are the opponents a lot easier than who like the Rams and Seattle are going to play, but they got dealt a lot of rest advantage too. They always do these stats, rest advantage versus the teams you're playing. The Niners finished number 1 in that as well. So, for instance, when they have a bye week, I believe when they come off the bye week, they're playing against a team that played on Monday Night Football the week before. When they play on Thursday night, they're playing against a team who played on Sunday when they played on the Thursday the week before. They got a lot of those kind of weird scheduling quirks where they have rest advantage too. So that's why the Niners win total set at 10.5 at most places. You would think it would be lower given that they kind of punted on the offseason. But favorable schedule for them. Wanted to just do that quick look at the Niners before we dig into the AFC and NFC East here now that Joey's back. Let's start with the AFC East. Pretty darn easy to pick number 1, but it's after that where we differ. Let's start with the Buffalo Bills. I have them at 12-5. Last year they had the number 2 ranked offense in the league, number 11 ranked defense. Really the only change is they added Josh Palmer to be kind of, I guess, wide receiver 2-ish behind Shakir or Coleman or whoever they're going to put as their Y receiver, their X receiver there. Basically, when I look at that offense, I say they need A+ Josh Allen. If he's a B+ or B, there is not enough talent on that roster for them to, again, be really, really good. But it's Josh Allen. Like, if he plays at least 15, 16 games, I think they're going to win at least 11 games because he's that freaking good. The defense last year was 24th against the pass. They added that cornerback Hairston in the first round, but if you watch Hard Knocks, that poor guy friggin' blew out his leg right at the beginning of camp. So they say there's a chance he might play this year based on what I saw in Hard Knocks and what they're saying. The beat writers there, it would be unlikely that he plays until at least like the middle of the year at best. I think they added Joey Bosa, Tre'Davious White, like really, really old guys at the very end of their career. I think there's a regression possibility for Buffalo, and if Allen gets hurt, they could completely bottom out. But as long as Allen is healthy, I have them winning games. I have them at 12-5. Joey, what's your prediction?
Yeah, I mean, they're a machine. I mean, I think, it's crazy. Josh Allen seems like an NBA player in the sense, like, if whatever Luka Doncic is healthy and trim for 65, 70 games, like you're winning 55 of them, like already, or something crazy like that. I just he's their passing offense, he's their rushing offense. Although like James Cook, who just signed, I mean he was pretty good. But yeah, I mean don't love the receivers, don't love the tight ends. I mean I don't love anything other team other than him. And yeah, I mean their pass defense last year was not good, and it didn't look any better Sunday against Chicago, which take that for what you will. But yeah, but again, I just think I think people thought they were going to fall off last year. And
if you want to look at this roster and say, "Oh, I see them dropping off at 9-8," like do that at your own peril. I want to because I look at the roster and I go, like you said, mediocre wide receivers, mediocre tight ends, mediocre offensive line. I would say mediocre defense overall, but it's like
mediocre to below average.
Yeah, they have the dude, so like you can't say that they're going to go 8-9 unless you're predicting that he's going to get hurt. Like they're going to be really good. What's the record you have for them?
I think I was one game more than you. 13-4.
Oof. Yeah, I mean it makes sense. I mean when they play Kansas City, Baltimore, whoever they play in the NFC as the 1 seed,
and I have a hard time thinking they're not going to go. I mean they honestly could go 6-0 in the division, even though I think it's improved a bit.
I mean, at Miami and at New England, they'll be favored in both of those games, you would think, by at least 2.5, 3, if not more.
Yeah, and they'll hammer the Jets.
Yeah. It's easy to try to poke holes into the roster, but you really can't when the quarterback is that good. This is, this generation's version of
Kansas City at home.
I believe they get Kansas City at home, Baltimore at home.
The opening nights, right? The Sunday night.
Yeah. And then they go on the road to Houston. And then they're on the road for the NFC game. They host the NFC game. Who is it that they play? I have to look at their schedule again, but I looked at the schedule and I said they're favored in 15 games. So I think maybe they'll drop a couple against some of those good teams, but there's no way you can see them dropping significantly. Where we differ big time, where you do see a significant drop-off, is on the Miami Dolphins. I have them going 9-8. I think there is upside there just with the way that roster is constructed. The problem is the quarterback is extremely injury-prone. It appears that the head coach can't coach left-handed. Like, if anything is wrong, if the quarterback is hurt, if a running back is hurt, if a wide receiver is disgruntled, the whole thing falls apart. So I get why you probably are fading them a lot more than I am this year. I just look at the team and I say, okay, last year Tua was hurt. They were 22nd on offense. They were 10th on defense, and that guy Weaver, the defensive coordinator there, is going to get a head coaching job if they're top 10 again on defense, given how injured they were last year and how good a performance he got out of them. They added new starters on defense at all 3 levels, put all their draft capital into the D-line. I think it's an interesting team to watch in that if Tua stays healthy, the defense is good enough to where they really don't have to put up a ton of points to win a lot of games. But as we say every year, you can't trust the quarterback to stay healthy. So I have them going 9-8 and missing the playoffs. You have them being maybe a little bit worse than that.
Kind of a lot worse. Just to finish off Buffalo, I looked at their schedule. They play Philly, but Philly,
right? Chiefs,
Buffalo, and the Bengals are all at Buffalo. They all get them at home. The only one that goes is Houston. So, kind of looked out schedule wise there. But no, Miami, I think they're gonna. I think this could be a blow up. I really do.
Mhm.
I mean, I honestly was kind of shocked at how hard Tua was on Tyreek when he made his comments about how like you can't just say like you quit and walk back in here like everything's fine.
Mhm.
Like, and he basically said he's trying to find out who he wants to be as a man and as a whatever. And I'm like, damn, good for you, Tua. Like, everyone thinks you're just kind of this like, oh yeah, well, I don't know. I feel like just whatever, dude. Like,
Yeah.
kind of like Mike McDaniel, and it's like, yeah, no, Tyreek, you said like you hate it here and I want to win and get me out of here, and then you walk back in. But on top of that, yeah, I just a huge part is him staying healthy, huge part, and I actually kind of commend him for playing the preseason a bit, just to show people he can take some hits and bounce back. But I just don't think he's going to stay healthy. I don't, and then this team just gets awful the rest, like late in the season. In big games outdoor and weather. I just don't trust them really.
A lot of the like sharp football guys point out that they struggle in the red zone every year, and it's partly because the quarterback is zero threat to run. And I thought about that. I'm like, that is a damn good point. Like, not only can he not even take one hit back there because it could end his career, like he will never run. He will never sneak it. He will never do a bootleg. Like, they're so worried about him getting concussed that like he is not a threat at all in the ground game. So it kind of limits what they can do in the red zone. So I see your point there. I think a lot of people are picking McDaniel to be the first coach fired this year. I think if they get off to a slow start with how favorable their schedule is at the beginning, that he might get fired. I think they're going to start hot and fade like they always do. The last 2 years, I've picked them to be the AFC East champ. I'm not buying it anymore. 9-8, I feel like is charitable for them. I think their win total is set at 7.5. So you have them going under that at 6-11. I have them at 9-8. Let's move on to the Patriots. This is the media darling of the offseason. Yes, they brought in Mike Vrabel, and Josh McDaniels is back as offensive coordinator. But you look at this roster and you look at how they did last year. Granted, Gerard Mayo was a terrible head coach at one and done. They were 30th on offense, 22nd on defense. They completely rebuilt the offense for Drake May. Diggs, Bradbury, Morgan Moses. I mean, first rounder Will Campbell, second rounder Travion Henderson. It's a lot of new pieces. And Josh McDaniels, without Tom Brady, has shown nothing. Like, he's been a failure every stop of his career that didn't involve Tom Brady. Let's see how he does with Drake May. I think Drake May is a good player. I think we're maybe hyping him up just a little too much based off of, the film we saw from 1 year, really half a year. I am fading their playoff and wild card potential, which a lot of people are all over them at like 10-7 and making the playoffs. I'm not. I have them at 7-10. I also think their schedule is a little bit tough. I just don't see it. I see them being vastly improved from last year. I have them winning 3 more games than they did last year. I just don't see them as a wild card team. Joey, what are your thoughts on the Pats?
Yeah, I'd say pretty similar. I haven't gone a game better, 8-9. I do really like Drake May, and I like Mike Vrabel. It's a huge upgrade from, like you said, Gerard Mayo. Yeah, there's just still not that much talent. I mean, I guess I could talk myself into why did I pick him at 8-9, but I just think I do really think Vrabel will come in and raise their floor quite a bit. Like, do I think they really sniff the playoffs? Not really. I might miss it by only a game, but I don't think it's going to be one of those like we were in it. It might be one of those like win a couple games at the end of the year and
like the Lions in whatever that was, 2022, where you're like
not even that, because like that they seem like pretty well, not like that, because didn't they start like 1-7 and then like
that's true, yeah.
Like I don't know if they'll be that bad to start, and I don't think they'll be that good to finish. Because like if they finish 8-9, like no part of me thinks like next year they go 10-7, or like like I think with Detroit after that year, like people were like, "Hey, this team is gonna be a problem." Like like it was the start, and the Patriots I think they'll be improved, but I don't know, it'll be like that.
They got so many years of bad drafting that they gotta go forward with, like the Belichick running things 2022, 2023. I mean, he was drafting absolute bums in almost every round. So there's a long way to go. I think Vrabel's one of the best coaches in the league, but he needs some time here. And I think that offensive line was one of the worst we've ever seen in the history of the league last year. Like Jacoby Brissett was getting absolutely pummeled at the start of the year before they put May in there, and he was getting pummeled. Like, maybe it'll be improved this year. Garrett Bradbury, former Viking, is a terrible pass blocker, and he's going to be their starting center. So there's a lot of holes on this team. Yes, they have a good head coach and a good young quarterback, but everything else on that roster is pretty weak. Unless Travion Henderson's amazing, and Diggs finds the fountain of youth coming off of an ACL injury. I just think this is a team that's a little bit of a flop candidate compared to expectations. They're over/under set at 8.5. Let's finish up with the Jets. A lot of freaking people being like, they're going to build towards something under Aaron Glenn. Like, this year's going to be a building year. Oh, boy. Like, the more I look at this roster, the more I'm like, Justin Fields is the quarterback, and he does not elevate the players around him. Like, if they had a very good, very dynamic quarterback, they would be a sleeper team with how good this roster is in certain areas. But Fields has never shown at any point in his career that he's even remotely capable of being a successful NFL quarterback. He can run the ball pretty well, but he's not a good passer. And I mean, the only time in his career he won games at even a decent clip was basically playing game manager for Mike Tomlin, which Mason Rudolph's been able to do that. Duck Hodges back in the day was able to do that. I don't think this is a very good quarterback. I don't think this is a very good team. I also don't think it's a very good coaching hire. Like, Detroit's defense was mediocre for the vast majority of the time Aaron Glenn was there. I have them going 5-12. Joey, you're a little bit more rosy on them, but this podcast has always been anti-Field. So what's your prediction for them?
I have them going to 7-10. And this will be like a not very impressive 7-10. I feel like, I don't know. I mean, it just kind of starts and ends with Justin Fields. Seems like I've watched him do a few interviews with the Jets. He seems like a great guy, but I don't want him as my quarterback. There's nothing there passing wise.
Do you know who the D coordinator is under Aaron Glenn? Steve Wilkes. Not exactly a slam dunk hire.
You know what? It makes me think of like when the Niners had him. Like, it was clearly it didn't work. Like with Kyle, it didn't like. But it's just like I thought that he did really. He had a really good Super Bowl. Like, they were like a couple plays away from winning the Super Bowl. This guy, and I feel like Kyle wanted to fire him like in week 8.
Mm-hmm.
Like, but
he was clearly better than Sorensen.
You know what? Not to go on a Niners tangent, but I'm like, we just might need to stop blaming the coaches' defense, because like I don't think our defense has been that good in a few years.
Since D'Amico left, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean the Jets, I like some of their players. I mean, really, Sauce Gardner, really good.
Garrett Wilson.
Really good.
Garrett Wilson's going to want to rip his hair out every time he has to play a game with Justin Fields throwing him the ball.
I just like, what's it got to be like receiver? It's like, how does he not think like the only thing separating me from like, maybe not like the Jamar Chase, but sure, why shouldn't he think he's just as good as Jamar Chase or Justin Jefferson? It's like the only thing separating me is like I somehow got drafted to the team with this guy as my quarterback. Or
first Zach Wilson, then Aaron Rodgers. Now,
I mean, like, you don't think that crosses his mind? Like, if I just was drafted by a team with the guy who could throw, like, man, I could be making like, $40 million a year, like being talked about as one. That's just luck of the draw. Show you, like, it probably eats him.
I think that's something to watch during the season, because I know we're going to get to like week 6, week 7. And he's going to be getting like 4 targets a game, and he'll have like 3 catches for 48 yards. And we're going to be like, Garrett Wilson, disgruntled. I'm like, what the hell did he expect? Like, his quarterback's Justin Fields. If you've watched him at all in the preseason, absolutely horrendous. Like, Fields, I think, you would say of the starting quarterbacks who played in the preseason, by far the worst. It's between him and Bryce Young. So it's been, I mean, Jets fans are all ready to.
How bad that draft class?
Oh, it gets worse every day. You know who's been awesome in the preseason is Trey Lance, but we know that's not for real.
I thought, I saw that. I was like, good for him. And then somebody put out this stat that if you put his like air yards per attempt or something, it would have ranked like dead last in the NFL last. Like basically the stat to show like this guy is checking it down screen that's going for 80 yards or something. Like basically, which for me, I'm like, if I'm Trey Lance, like I don't care. Like people thought I legitimately couldn't like complete
throw a football. Yeah.
Like, I mean, good for him. Which again, hey, talk about preseason games. The Niners had last preseason game. Jim Harbaugh and Trey Lance come back to Levi's Stadium. Which I don't know if Harbaugh's been back.
And also, the Niners aren't going to play Purdy or Mac Jones. I mean, that game is going to be.
Did they say that? I didn't even know that.
Yeah, Mac Jones is out for the game with a knee injury, but they say he'll be ready for week 1.
Today, they signed Nate Sudfeld, who ironically was the guy they cut to keep Brock Purdy on the team, like his rookie year.
It all comes full circle. I mean,
and then he comes back like on basically a training camp arm, and Purdy's like, "What's up? Like, I make $53 million now.
Remember me?" Anyway, back to the Jets.
I used to carry your bags.
I was Mr. Irrelevant. Now I make $53 million a year. Who are you? No, back to the Jets though. I mean, yes, they added Membu and Taylor. They'll have a starting left tackle, a starting tight end that are quality players. But this year for Aaron Glenn, if he's going to be a success there, is about just showing any kind of progress in terms of developing a roster. Clearly, the quarterback who gets them back to the playoffs is not on the roster right now.
I just don't know why he took the job. Maybe he took the job because he knows he may not get offered another one.
I would think so. I mean, what other job is he going to get that's attractive? Like, the Colts job's probably going to come open after this season. The Giants job, like, do you really want either of those? Like, I mean, obviously the Jets job is terrible, but it is a major
Giants
market.
Job might not be that bad.
Well, depending on, I mean, maybe Daboll. Okay. Yeah, if Dart's okay, maybe Daboll will stay there. Who knows? So that's the AFC East rundown from the You Like That Feels Great Baby podcast. I have Buffalo winning the division 12-5, Miami 9-8, just missing the playoffs, Patriots 7-10, and Jets 5-12. Joey's got the Bills at 13-4, Patriots at 8-9, Jets at 7-10, and then Miami bottoming out at 6-11. Let's go to the NFC East and get through that. Philadelphia is going to win the division. Oddly enough, there hasn't been a back-to-back NFC East champion in over 20 years, which is crazy to say, but I mean, that's just the way it is. Like, teams never repeat in that division. That's going to change this year. Even if Hurts got hurt, I mean, I really just think this team is such a wagon and has such good players at every level, at every position, that they're going to probably win the division regardless. Last year, they were 7th on offense, 2nd on defense. Literally nothing new on offense, but I mean, as long as Barkley stays healthy, they're probably not going to regress. I think Barkley will regress, but that's just because he had over 400 touches last year. They spent all their draft picks and all their free agent money on the defense, which was already ranked number 2 last year. Their first rounder, Campbell, the linebacker, looks freaking amazing, and it's like, here they go again. 6 draft picks spent on the defense. Fangio's got all the pieces again. They're going to be a top 5, probably top 2, top 3 defense. I don't see any scenario where they're not, at least the number 2 seed in the NFC. Like, they're that good. I have them going 12-5 just because their schedule is a bit of a gauntlet, and their division, I would say, is a little tougher than people give it credit for. Joey, your Eagles recap, I bet you it's going to be pretty basic.
Yeah, I mean, I think I have them even going a game better, 13-4. Yeah, they're good. They're really good. They didn't need to spend anything on offense because why not? The defense was extremely good. I think they're only going to get better because, I mean, for crying out loud, they started 2 rookie corners and won the Super Bowl. Like, they're going to be better. I mean, the Phillies' front 4, their front 7 is always really good. I think they have – I mean, if I had a football philosophy as a team, it'd probably be run similar to Philadelphia. They always have like one of the best offensive and defensive lines. They
They're the complete opposite of the Seahawks way of building a roster. They do lines first and then figure everything else out. And it's like, clearly that works. They've been good for a decade.
Yeah, I mean, shoot. And then I saw a picture of them at the joint practice with the Browns, just cracking open some beers, like just at practice. I'm like, you know what? You guys got to figure it out in Philadelphia. For a second there, I thought Deebo Samuel kind of took your soul, but then you came back and won the Super Bowl. So, hey, good for you guys. And yeah, I mean, they're really good. Like you said, I expect them to win the division, and they're at worst. I mean, the 2 seed.
Yeah, it's such an easy, of all the teams we preview this offseason, this is going to be the easiest one. Like,
and they're going to be extremely tough out in the playoffs again. I mean, obviously most 1 and 2 seeds are, but again,
run the ball and stop the run. You'll be in every game. Like, they're not going to get blown out in any game with the way that they build their roster.
And just being the team that won, like, there's no pressure. Like, they just won it. Like, there's no, like, I think if you're a team like Detroit or maybe an older team like, the Rams or something, like, there might be extra pressure, but the Rams kind of just won one. I don't know. It's not like Buffalo or Baltimore.
Right.
Where it's like, holy shit, are we going to not win one ever? Like,
Buffalo, Baltimore, Detroit all have to feel like, God, I mean, it's got to happen here soon. The Eagles are like, we're good. We'll be fine. We'll go 13-4. Good luck beating us in the playoffs. I wish I was an Eagles fan. There's nothing better right now. Like, you won last year. You went to the Super Bowl a few years prior. You won a Super Bowl in 2017. You're always in it. Everybody likes to criticize your quarterback, but all he does is win. Washington, I have them finishing second in the division, just like everybody else on earth. Last year they went 12-5. I have them regressing a little bit. The defense is kind of the mother of all regression candidates. Like, everyone on that defense is really old and in some cases not really all that good. They had a career year last year, like that guy Frankie Louvu, where it's like career middling player all of a sudden has a great season. I expect that to come back down to earth. They're banking on Kinlaw and Wagner and Lattimore and Louvu, guys like that are just significantly older than you would expect at their position. Injury history. I thought Lattimore was actually terrible last year. They're expecting him to have a bounce back this year. So I think their defense is going to regress. I also think their offense really outside of McLaurin isn't that talented. Ertz is really old. Eckler's really old. Robinson isn't really that good. Their other wide receivers like Brown are just, I would say, mediocre players. The offensive line is mediocre. The quarterback is just an absolute stud. So I have to have them at 10-7, the most important position on the team. They're an A-. So, like, I have them go at 10-7. That being said, I would not be surprised in the least if they finished like 8-9 and missed the playoffs, given that, I mean, last year they kind of had the horseshoe up the ass. Joey, your pick.
Didn't they win, like, or didn't they? I could be totally wrong, but I thought they won a ton of close games too.
They did, and I believe they broke the all-time NFL record for fourth down conversion rate. It was like 87% or something when everybody else is around 55. So it's like they were extremely lucky last year and played an easy schedule. So I see them regressing 2 games. What do you have for Washington?
Yeah, same thing, 10-7. I think, like you said, a lot of things broke their way last year. I'm still concerned about Jaden Daniels getting hurt. I don't know if you saw, like, I saw a little bit of the game last night where he had his touchdown run. Looked sweet. And in my head, I'm like, how did he not get his head taken off?
Oh,
like,
if I'm a Commanders fan, I'm like, get down.
Well, it's just like, it was embarrassing, which is, I kind of felt bad for the Bengals player because I feel like you kind of think, like, this idiot's going down. Like, what does this guy think he's going to do? Dive head first in the end zone in a preseason game? Like, he's a star quarterback. Like, and then, like, you don't want to be the guy that, like, the 15-yard penalty hits him in the head in the preseason. Like, just, but then you do nothing and it looks awful.
Yeah.
But no, Jaden Daniels is really, really good. No one's talking about it because I don't think he wants to be a head coach, but Cliff Kingsbury was really good.
Yeah.
Last year. They
were the 5th ranked offense last year. I think people thought they would be 20th going into the season.
Yeah. Again, by all accounts, I don't think he wants to be a head coach again, but again, I don't know if I buy that. Who doesn't want to be a head coach if someone's offering you the job and the money? Yeah, I just one of those teams. I like their team. Like, am I confident to say, boom, like they're 12 wins? No, it's hard to
Jaden and
do.
a bunch of average guys. Like they added Laramie Tunsil, who's a blue chipper. Who else do they have on that team that's a blue chipper? Like Bobby Wagner, first ballot Hall of Famer, but this has to be his last season. Like he's what, 36,
Well, I did
37?
see it was weird to see Debo Samuel in a Commander jersey. Saw that last night.
What's he got left in the tank? You know
Well,
what's crazy?
I saw the first play of the game. They gave it to him on a jet sweep, and he took it for like 15 plus yards. I was like, you know, good for you, buddy. Like
He's
remember
he's like 28. This is his 7th season in the league. I thought he was drafted in like 2014. He was drafted in 2019.
No, his rookie year was the year that they went to the Super Bowl the first year.
Isn't that crazy? In my mind, I'm like, old man Debo. I'm like, he's 28.
Yeah, he's not. Like, that's the thing. It's like he feels old because he's played in a lot of games, a lot of big games, and in that game he's played really well. I mean, he's just one of those players. Like, look, it's time. You wanted to move on. We had no problem moving on from you, and I will look at your time as a 49er very fondly, despite your last year was not good. But yeah, I mean, he it's kind of funny. Ever since they traded for him, that's when Terry McLaurin's like, "Can I make as much money if not more than this guy? Like, I'm the one who's been here with like really good numbers. Like, it's just one of those things. Like, oh, we make a good trade. Well, cool. We're gonna have Scary Terry and Debo, and it's like Terry McLaurin's like, might not. Like,
and McLaurin has been the consummate teammate for the last 6 years he's been in the league. He's just like, can you take care of me? Like you took care of Laramie Tunsil, you took care of Debo, like took care of Bobby Wagner. Like I'm the longest tenured player on this team, and I'm probably the best player on the team other than Daniels. Like I get where he's coming from, but they're gonna win games as long as Daniel stays healthy. So I mean, it's an easy one to project.
Is their backup Tyrod Taylor?
No, he's the backup for the Jets still. Who is it's Josh Johnson. Former 49er.
That's why I said Tyrod. It's the other guy who's like
39-year-old Josh Johnson, who I believe is on his like 14th or 15th team, but he's the backup there. Dallas, I wanted to go out on a limb and predict them to make the playoffs. I saw that they're like plus 250 or something to make the playoffs, but then I just kind of looked at the roster and obviously the head coach, and I just couldn't get them there. I have them 8-9. Last year they were 21st on offense and a dismal 31st on defense. Mike Zimmer's out. Matt Eberflus is in. They added Fowler, Sanborn, Elam, Murray Jr., Thomas. I mean, complete rebuild on defense. I still think they're going to be a bottom 10 unit. Eberflus is just not a tremendous coach. On offense, they added Pickens, their first-round lineman Booker. Sanders and Williams are going to be the running back tandem. I think the offensive line is still top 10. If Dak's healthy, they'll probably finish with a winning record, but I don't know if he's going to get there. This all boils down to it's a tire fire with Micah Parsons. It's a tire fire with Jerry Jones every day. There's just so many distractions there. The head coach is a guy who would not have been hired by any of the other 31 teams in Brian Schottenheimer, who you can ask Seahawks fans like my brother what they think of him. Like the fact that he's an NFL head coach is pretty unbelievable. I have him going 8-9 because I just think it's unbelievably uninspired, and it's kind of a tire fire there with all the off-the-field stuff. Joey, what do you have for Dallas?
I actually got them going even a game worse. I think this is like the Miami of the NFC. I think this could blow. I mean, the most uninspiring head coaching hire you've ever seen. I mean, still not in love with Dak. I mean, I know he plays, decently well in the regular season when he's healthy sometimes, but he kind of just is what he is. The running game has been awful.
And will be. Miles Sanders and Javonte Williams, really?
I mean, yeah. And defensively, they were horrible. And I'm not that confident this Micah Parsons thing ends with him playing. The
reporting today is that they are so far apart that there is almost no chance that he plays week 1, if at all, this season for Dallas.
Again, I saw Schefter talk on McAfee's show today, and he prefaced it by saying, like, look, anything can change, like, literally tonight. Like, if Jerry Jones says, man, here's $50 million a year and, like, whatever, just get this done. let me send this to your agent. You guys talk about it. And like, okay, cool. He's back at practice tomorrow. Like, sure, that could happen. But they both feel so dug in. Like, it's beyond even money. It's beyond anything. It's just like, I have to win this.
Yeah.
And
it's crazy that this is the one Jerry decides to dig his feet in. Not the CD one, not the Dak one, not the Ezekiel Elliott one back in the day. It's this one.
And by all accounts, it seems like what Parsons, when he said, like, yeah, I was like ticked off that he thought we agreed to a deal, and then Jerry Jones is like ticked off because, like, well, I thought we were talking, which, like, I kind of defend Jerry. Like, if you really, like, Mike, if he really did say, like, you like this, like, you agree, like, and you shake hands and, like, you pretend like we just never had that conversation, I'd be like, if I was Jerry Jones, I'd be like, I mean, fine, we didn't offer you a paper contract yet, but, like, it's like, I don't know. The whole thing is just, but then again, I'm like, he's under contract. So does he just not get paid and get fined the whole year? Or
we haven't had one like this since
incredibly
Le'Veon Bell. I mean, Bell was the last one to just be
and that
like,
was the dumbest decision ever.
Yeah.
Micah Parsons has a bit more leverage than Le'Veon Bell. Like, and you could place a running back, but I mean, and correct me if I'm wrong, but if he just doesn't play this whole year, that doesn't count as a year, right?
Right. He would need to come back. I believe it's like week 8 or something to get the year of service so that he then becomes a free agent.
Yeah. And the crazy thing is, like, I wouldn't have blamed Dallas if they wanted to trade him. Like, I mean, you want to start over, like, get some draft pick? Do the draft.
They need a lot of help on defense. They could get 2-3 firsts for him if they were to trade him.
Yeah, like, what you give him $45-50 million a year, all this money guaranteed. It's like, okay, and then what? You have him tied up, you have Dak tied up, you have CD tied up, and you're going 7-10, 8-9, maybe 9-8 every year. Like, I mean, it would have made sense, but this has been so fudged from the start, and now it's getting in such a world of egos that most of us mere mortals with regular jobs can't comprehend.
Yeah. Absolute tire fire off the field. I think it's going to bleed into the on-field product. Joey's got him going 7-10. I got him going 8-9. Finally, the New York Football Giants, 31st ranked offense last year, 21st ranked defense. Let's start with the defense. Let's try to be positive here. Best defensive line in the league, if Abdul Carter is what they're saying he is in camp. Number 3 overall pick. People are saying this is going to be one of the best defensive players in the NFL year one, like he's that good. Is it going to matter, though, if you have 3 of the 10 or 12 best pass rushers in the NFL? I don't know. The secondary should be okay. They added Adebo and Holland. The unit's going to be probably top 10 on defense, but I think they're going to be 32nd on offense. It's a disaster other than neighbors.
A 32-team league. That's what I love. What they say, like, we'll finish 32nd, and there's 32 teams in the league, so that equates to last.
The thing I will say is Wilson, he was okay last year. He won 10 games or 11 games, whatever. They were okay in Pittsburgh. Jackson Dart, he's looked pretty darn good in the preseason. Neighbors, sure, really good player. I think it's either the worst or second worst offensive line in the NFL. I think it's the worst receiver room in the NFL outside of their number 1. And I think it's the worst tight end room in the NFL. I just think that the upside there is extremely low. Like, this is going to be one of those teams that probably puts up 17 to 18 points a game and really just needs the defense to pitch a perfect game for them to have any chance. I have them going 4-13. They're under on 6.5. I bet earlier in the season. It's now down to 5.5. I would still bet that at that number. Joey, what do you have for New York?
A game better. To be honest, though, like, I mean, you rush somehow some special package with Brian Burns, Kayvon Thibodeau, and Abdul Carter. Like, you better be getting to the quarterback in like 2.5 seconds. I mean, and then if their secondary is okay, yeah, I mean, it could be. I remember when the Niners played the Giants. I think it was last year. Yeah, their pass rush, or maybe it was 2 years ago. I don't remember. It might have been 2 years ago. Their pass rush was great by then, and that was Thibodeau's, I think, rookie year. But yeah, this is the bitter 49er fan coming back. Russell Wilson doesn't inspire me whatsoever if I was a Giants fan or receiver. I do really like Malik Neighbors. I think he could be top 5 receiver already. But after that, it's pretty tough. But yeah, if Jackson Dart plays well, I mean, for winning 4 or 5 games isn't a huge number. Their defense is extremely good.
If they're going to hit their absolute ceiling and go 9-8 or whatever, or play well enough for Daboll to keep his job, number one, Dart's got to take Wilson's job by like week 4 or 5. Number 2, he's got to play like a star. And number 3, they got to get someone like Tyrone Tracy or Scattaboo or whoever to be a star. Like, do we think any of those things are going to happen? I think Wilson's going to start at least 6 games, probably more. I think everyone other than Neighbors on that offense is terrible. I just think the margin for error is so bad. And we'll get into their schedule a little bit later. They're going to start 0-8 or 1-7. Like, it's the most brutal start to a schedule I may have ever seen. So this team's completely behind the 8 ball from the beginning. Let's do a quick preview here, or a quick recap. Let's do a quick recap of the NFC East. Philadelphia Eagles 12-5 for me, 10-7 Washington Commanders, Cowboys 8-9, and the Giants 4-13. Joey's got the Eagles 13-4, Commanders 10-7, Cowboys a little worse 7-10, and the Giants just a little bit better at 5-12. That's your NFC East preview from the You Like That Feels Great Baby podcast. It's time for America's favorite segment, Joey's Jack and the Bum of the Week. I'll throw you some candidates, but you have the final say. Bengals front office, this whole Hendrickson situation, it's really just spiraled to the point where I don't know if he's going to play week 1, if at all. They say he's so entrenched and wanting to beat Mike Brown in this negotiation that he may sit as long as he possibly can this year. They've screwed the pooch there in a season where Burrow's in his prime, Chase is in his prime, Higgins in his prime. Chase Brown's a really good player. They could contend for a Super Bowl if somehow their defense plays okay, but it's not going to play okay if you don't have your best player out there. Matthew Stafford, this whole back injury thing, I think it's more serious than it's being led on. I think he possibly knew he had this injury before he told them he was coming back for another year. This situation feels like it could be season from hell potential. Keep an eye on that. Keep an eye on Matthew Stafford. If he doesn't play week 1, it's an all-out disaster. If he does and he looks really, really bad, watch out. Like, that's something to watch. Couple other nominees that most people probably didn't see. Anthony Belton, second-round rookie offensive lineman for the Packers. They were expecting him to start at guard this season. They pulled him after 2 series because he had 5 penalties in 2 series. I think he's one of those draft picks that is just like, oh, they're like, he can't play. Like, he's going to sit the whole season. It was that bad. He's just holding guys left and right. He doesn't know the snap count. It was pretty funny to watch for a Packers team to blow a pretty high pick like that. The guy clearly cannot play. He was the talk of preseason week 2 in a negative way. And then, I mean, you got to have the Panthers on here. The starters played 2 series in the first game, 2 series in the second game. I believe they gave up 28 points in those 4 drives and scored 0. Clearly, this is the same old Panthers. Last week in the preview pod, I took them under 7.5 wins. I feel like that's the lock of the millennium. This team is going to suck yet again. But Joey, it's your segment. You've been waiting 6 months to crown another Bum of the Week. Who you got?
Yeah, as always, great can. I didn't know about that Packers lineman. That's tough. 2 series, 5, and I read that, 5 in a game. I mean, that's not good. That's bad. But 5 in 2 series? What are we doing? No, there's only one Jack and the Bum of the Week this week, and it's Anthony Richardson. I mean, it feels like I'm kind of piling on. I don't even know what else. I mean, to lose your job to Daniel Jones, who they just signed. Who was a laughingstock in New York. And it just, it just looks like nothing. It feels like you're looking at a sad dog.
Yeah.
Man, I'm not even angry. It's just man, this was a miss. This already. And it just goes to show you, which I kind of feel like the league is moving back away from the athletes, you can't say he was any like a quarterback with his 1 year at Florida. I mean, it was like project whatever. Big huge to draft him.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what it looks like when it doesn't work. Like it just there's not much improvement, if any. And again, you just say it like you just call it like you see it. When he taps out, like I mean, it's hard to come back. It's really hard to come back.
I think it was either the second or third play of the preseason. He takes a hard hit. First of all, he doesn't see the rusher coming.
Oh yeah, that was against
it's hit
Baltimore.
The way he ran to the sideline and took himself out of the game, you would have thought he just had a concussion. He just broke a bone. He just tore a muscle. No, they're like injured pinky. He'll be back at practice tomorrow. Like, this is your chance to stay in the NFL and to be a starting quarterback. He comes out of the game 2 plays in because his pinky hurt, and now he lost his job. Like, we've said over the last couple of years, like the tapping out thing, the missing all those games his rookie season, missing all those games his second season. Guy just doesn't have it, dude.
He gets hurt a lot.
He's the size of Cam Newton, but can't take a hit. It's wild.
He might be as tall as Cam Newton. Cam Newton is a freak in a league of freaks. But yeah, it's him. I'd be shocked if he can't be a backup.
Right.
He is not
this offseason, this training camp was his last chance. Even though he was a top 5 pick 2 years ago. Like, to be that bad to the point where, you know, in your third season of your career, when you missed almost all of your first season and half of your second season, you've only played 10, 12 games in the NFL. And going into your third season, you're already playing for your NFL career. That's really bad. Clearly, that wasn't enough to motivate him.
Honestly, I just thought of this. He might have been a guy that would have benefited from being in college with NIL.
Mm-hmm. Because he would have stayed another year or two. Yeah.
He would have played. When he got reps, he would have been. I doubt he gets as hurt as much in college because he's probably bigger and faster than most every guy. I know it's the SEC.
And also, you have to make this point. I know you can't do it anymore with the way that the league is structured in terms of rookie contracts and fifth-year options and whatnot. But if he would have got the Jordan Love treatment and sat for 2-3 years, full years, maybe he could have been a functional NFL quarterback. But he got thrown in 4 games into his rookie season, and it's like, he wasn't ready. Last year, he wasn't ready. Who knows if he would have made it if they gave him 2 years on the bench learning from someone else, but it's over.
I put a lot of blame on the Colts, right?
Yeah. Maybe they're just forever cursed because of the way they treated Andrew Luck.
I just wonder, if they don't draft him, all you need is one team to fall in love with you. You know, well, if they don't take him, does some other team? Does every other team look at him and be like, man? He played 1 year at Florida. Yeah, height, weight, speed. He looks great in a tracksuit. But this is football.
They're he's like Josh Allen if he couldn't play football. You're like, oh, interesting comp. Anthony Richardson, Joey's first Jack in the Bum of the week of the 2025 season. Worthy candidate. When you lose your job to Daniel Jones, you got to win the award, just the way it is. It's time for the You Like That picks of the week. We gave you 1 over and 1 under last week on season win totals. This week, we're going to go 2 unders. I hate to be so negative, but I'll have some positive picks for you next week. Patriots under 8.5. Much like last week's Carolina pick, this is an absolute fade of the media's offseason darling. Yes, the coaching is massively improved, but the roster's still reeling from several years of bad drafting. I still think Drake May is a year away from the playoffs. That roster itself is just not good enough for a quarterback of his caliber to lift them to the 9-win, 10-win threshold that everybody's hoping for in New England and that a lot of the professional bettors are expecting. I think they'll be improved from 4-13 last year. I don't think they'll be, a sneaky playoff contender. So I'm going to take the under on them, under 8.5. And then one of my favorite picks of the offseason, Giants under 6.5. It's moved to 5.5, so we'll still take it at Giants under 5.5. The only way this goes over is if the D-line plays up to their capability and Dart is an instant star. This team's atrocious and plays, I think, the toughest schedule in the NFL by a mile. Yes, the defense will keep them in games, but look at their schedule. They're going to start 1-7. If they start better than 2-6, I would be absolutely stunned. I think they're going to fire the head coach after week 8. I believe they have a bye week 9. It all sets up perfectly. Like, this is going to be a tire fire. They're going to turn to Dart. They're going to put in an interim head coach, and they're going to blow it all up with Joe Shane and Brian Daboll both getting fired, and they're going to start over with Dart as the guy next year. So give me under 5.5 on them. That's the You Like That picks of the week. For the AFC and NFC East pod, New England under 8.5 and the Giants under 5.5. Joey, it's time for your first Feels Great Baby of the 2025 season, and you're keeping it with the New York Football Giants.
Yeah, keep it with our NFC East pod preview. I don't think this is going to happen, but it's hard to feel pretty great or wild about anything in mid-August. But I think Jackson Dart starts week 1 because why not? I mean, he's got all this momentum allegedly from his preseason play, deservedly so. And I just think if he hits, there's more upside. Again, if Russell Wilson's really good, I don't know. I mean, he's just clearly not their long-term starter. If this kid is good, and if he doesn't, I feel like there's no issue going to Russell Wilson if he struggles, and then like she said, hey, Jackson, like, work on this, like, practice all this stuff, be good in the film room, be good in the weight room, all that stuff, and then, like, you're still our guy. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't know. I just think I think it's totally contradiction we just talked about with Anthony Richardson, but he also, I believe, played 3 years at Ole Miss.
Yeah.
So – and like we talked about, he coached Lane Kiffin. I mean, who has decent amount of, NFL background. I mean, for being a school that really doesn't play a lot of big games, I mean, they've been pretty decent. But I mean, didn't they have AJ Brown and DK Metcalf?
Yeah, they have no problem producing wide receivers down there. There just hasn't been a good quarterback to come out of Ole Miss since Eli, really. I think part of your take here is also like, if Daboll wants to keep that job and not be somebody else's offensive coordinator next year and actually still be an NFL head coach, he should probably go to Dart week 1. Like, if he goes to Wilson and they start 2-2 or 1-3 or 0-4, like, they're going to be calling for him to get fired already. But if he goes to Dart and they're like 2-5, but he's shown some potential, maybe they keep him around till the end of the year. Maybe they keep him for next year. Like, you got to think, for both the GM, Shane, and the head coach, Daboll, like, they probably, if they want to keep their jobs, should play Dart much sooner than people are expecting.
I agree. But yeah.
It's a decent take. I mean, clearly Winston's not going to start. Clearly Tommy DeVito's not going to start. Like,
what a QB room, honestly. What a QB room. I don't know anything about Jackson Dart, but he's a young quarterback, first-round draft pick walking in with Russell Wilson, who has got his ghosts, like, falling around, like, just coming out. Does anyone like you? Anyone, like, as a person? Like, and then on top of that, are you a good quarterback? And then Jameis Winston, who throws more passes to the other team than his own team, but brings the ultimate vibes as a team guy in the room.
And DeVito with his
yeah. I mean, what a room.
Yeah.
What a room.
They say they're going to carry 4 quarterbacks. They also say Cleveland's going to carry 4 quarterbacks. That never happens in the NFL, but pretty crazy. I like that take. I like, taking a swing there. He probably doesn't start week 1, but if he does, you look like a genius. I think it's the right move for the Giants.
That's honestly a big reason why I said it. It's like, it's probably going to happen. But if it does, I'm going to tell people I said it.
Let's close the pod. We try to keep these under an hour for our loyal listeners. I wanted to have a quick debate on playing versus not playing starters in the preseason. The old school coaches like Pete Carroll and Andy Reid still play their starters for a while. Like, if you watched Vegas and Kansas City play this week, like, they actually put the guys in for a couple series. In Pete Carroll's case, it was like an entire half for most of these guys. And Zach Taylor also is doing that after 3 straight seasons of starting 0-2 or 0-3. He's tired of it, and he's like, screw it. I'm going to play Burrow. I'm going to play Chase. I'm going to play Higgins. I'm going to play everybody. He did in the first preseason game. They played the entire first half. In the second preseason game, they played almost the entire half. But basically all of the other 29 teams have said screw it and played nobody, including the Falcons, who aren't letting Penix or Cousins touch the field, who aren't letting any of their top players touch the field. The Chargers kind of doing the same thing, like nobody who's going to make that roster is playing. So there's the two different ways to do it. My take on this is I think Taylor's strategy of I don't want to struggle at the start of the season, so I'm going to play a lot of my guys. I think that works for him, given that their recent history, and I think it works for teams with rookie QBs or rookie head coaches. So Tennessee, New Orleans, Cleveland, the Giants. What is going to happen negative if you play the starters? Like, yeah, maybe a guy gets hurt, but you're not going anywhere anyway. Might as well see what you have with this group and try to hit the ground running once September starts. For everybody else, it doesn't make a ton of sense. But Joey, what's your take on if you were in charge of an NFL team, what you would do with the preseason?
Cancel it. I mean, I was thinking about it, doing the math. Like, the NFL plays 17 games and has 3 preseason games. So, like, percentage of the season, how much is that? That'd be like if hockey played 20 preseason games. Like, what are we doing? No, I mean, again, I think it's team by team basis. I don't think every team should not play anybody. I don't think every team should play everybody. But in some circumstances, I think I don't believe in playing no one until week 1. I will say, like,
this Falcons way of doing it does seem kind of asinine. Like, by the time week 1 comes around, nobody will have played together. Yeah.
It seems like you're asking for it, like week 1, like either injuries because no one's played, soft tissue stuff, and number 2, like you're not on the same page.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if that game's like on the road, tough game. Like, no. But
Atlanta plays Tampa week 1, and it's like, man, Tampa is well coached. Everyone on that team's a veteran, like old team that knows exactly what to do to be ready. Like, I would not be surprised if Atlanta gets absolutely mollywhopped.
And you don't need to play like everybody. Like, I would say, like, if I'm the Bengals and I'm Joe Burrow, like if he's going out there, the starting offensive line is going out there.
Right.
Like, I was a little concerned. Like, I know Trent Williams doesn't need 1 snap in preseason, but like when Purdy went out there for his 1 series, I'm like, well, I don't feel great about like Spencer Burford at left tackle right now. Like,
right.
Like, I mean, I get Trent Williams, like, age, everything. Like, so, like, I'm trying to think. The Niners put Purdy out there, but, like, the guys who haven't touched the field have been Trent Williams, Christian McCaffrey, and Fred Warner, and Bosa. But, like, I would give all those guys, give them 1 series this Saturday. Give them 1.
Yeah.
Go through the routine, get a couple quick timing things, and you're done.
Vikings did McCarthy for 1 series in week 1 of the preseason with the A starters, with Addison and Hawkinson and all those guys. And then last week, like right before the game, O'Connell's like, yeah, McCarthy's not going to play. Nobody's going to play. And I was like, that was kind of interesting. Like, it always was growing up, the second preseason game, your starters play the first half, or the third preseason game back in the day.
It's changed because they went from 4 to 3.
Yeah.
So, like, is the third preseason game like what the third one was before, where like they did play a lot of people, or is it now like the 4th where like
nobody play? Yeah, I think what you're going to see this week is nobody's going to play. I think they treat it like the 4th game of the preseason from the old times. Like, they're already saying, I mean, the Niners are going to have their 3rd and 4th string out there.
It just sucks because, like I said, they don't even paint the field. Like, it's just a little thing. Like, we're paying all the fans pay this money. Let's go out there. It's like, what are we doing?
Yeah. I think you're going to see the 18-game schedule with 2 preseason games as soon as next year. Like, I really do think that's where it's headed. That's I mean, I just wanted to talk about that before we close, because I know everybody that listens to this pod, everybody that's gearing up for fantasy football, they want football to be here so bad. So they turn on some preseason and they're like, good God, like, I don't know a single player. And it's like, yeah, the product sucks, but like, if you're
Isn't
a Bills
that crazy?
fan,
Like, the NFL week 1 is like, most leagues would kill for that to be like their playoffs, right?
Mm-hmm.
But like the preseason, honestly, I think I might rather watch spring training baseball.
It's so bad. Well, the Bills lost 38-0 to Chicago, and their new episode
Like
of Hard
players are
Knocks is
trying
coming
in
out.
spring training. Like they're trying to hit the ball.
Right.
Like we're playing for like Buffalo, and we just got hammered 38-0. We're like, whatever.
They're like, we do not care. And I'm like, well, if they don't care, then why would anybody else? So I think, I lean more towards they should rest everybody. You don't want to have
it is
a
so
major
true. 'Cause
injury.
I'm like, oh look, there's football this Saturday, and then you turn it on, you're like, what the hell is this?
They're like, he's got a real shot to be the 5th receiver out of camp if he can play gunner well. You're like, I love football, but I don't know if I can watch this.
That's a whole, like, honestly, people laugh that, oh, you watch the combine? Like, honestly, the combine's more electric. Like, I mean, we're getting down to the nitty gritty. Like, I mean, the 6th receiver who might be a gunner on special teams.
Like he could be a part of the wedge. You know, he could be a guy to watch out for the wedge. You're like, oh my Lord.
They always bring out, here comes remember Raheem Mostert? He was a gunner, and now he's had 20 touchdowns. Like, it could happen to anybody. It's like, probably
and
not.
the injuries, dude. Oh, it's so bad. You see a guy get injured, you're like, damn, that was probably his one NFL game he's ever going to play. It's so sad.
I was watching something. It actually might have been a baseball game, but I flipped it to the NFL Network Saturday, and it was Arizona and Denver for the night game. And some Denver, I don't know who it was, but it was like a offensive lineman. He looked like he was in so much pain. Like he was doing the whole like pound the grass, like rolling around. Like it's one of those where like the doctors get there and they get on their mics. Like we're basically, I assume they say like, call everyone. We need everything we got.
Yeah.
Like bring out the cart, the air cast, the like CPAP machine, bring out everything. This guy's dead. Like,
you're like, fuck. Because it's like if it happens to a guy in a regular season game, you're like, well, he made $8 million this year. But if it's a preseason game, you're like, that dude made $32,000.
Yeah, you're like, this guy like made like, probably had like equivalent of like a decent weekend. I mean, for me, like great, but like like just relatively to professional sports, like probably made like a signing bonus like $30,000, and now he's literally bagging groceries because he just shattered his knee in a preseason game.
We are so tired of you preseason football. Only one more week of that nonsense, and then we get to the real deal. We'll be back again next week to do the AFC North and AFC West before we do the big one, where we give you the NFC North, NFC West with the Vikings, the Niners, the Seahawks, maybe a special guest or two. Thanks, everybody, for listening. It's good to have Joey back. It's good to be back. It's good that football's back. We'll see you next week. Thanks for listening to another episode of the You Like That Feels Great Baby podcast.